Welcome to Kickin' with the Rickens, redefining retirement. Gerry Ricken and Heidi Ricken Provost want to help you retire with purpose and live with joy. Find more information, including how to reach the team, in today's show notes. Now, Kickin' with the Rickens, powered by Ricken Financial.
And we are here with retirement planner Heidi Ricken Provost, licensed insurance professional Gerry Ricken. Thanks for kicking with the Rickens. Thanks for streaming this podcast here. My name is Mark Owens. These people, I tell you what, I love them with all my heart. How's everything going this week? Everything treating you well?
Absolutely fabulous, Mark.
All
How are
is
you,
well.
buddy?
I've got no complaints. So apparently, Heidi, you can sit down with us and talk about life, retirement strategies, legacy, and Taylor Swift. You cover all the bases.
Yes. Oh yeah. You know, she's the hot topic nowadays after her new album came out. And I was sharing with you earlier, I think it's really funny. I never really had a pulse on her, or quite honestly, since she left country music, I didn't even really listen to her music because back in the day, country was like all I listened to.
Right.
And I really loved and appreciated her music when she was there. And the new album came out, and my sister was like, listen to this one song. And she sends it to me. And I was like, oh, that's kind of a bop. I like that. And then I started listening to more of it. And it's funny to me that people that love Taylor are on the fence about this album, because I really like the album.
Right.
I think it's very catchy and fun. And, you know, my dad's from South Central Kansas, and I'm actually very upset that this might have been the last time we get to do this. But they've had a significant number of young men from his hometown be in the seminary here to learn to become priests in St. Louis.
And from our diocese, the Wichita Diocese.
Yes. And so once a semester, he's hosted dinner for them, and we've gotten to hang out, have burgers and beer and bourbon and fun.
Right.
And for all of those listening, by the way, people becoming priests are still human beings too. So, you know, they like to have fun too.
Wait, what? Bourbon and beer? Wait, what?
I know, right?
Yeah, not allowed to do that. Right?
So we were hanging out, and one of the guys brought up Taylor Swift, and I never thought I would have an intellectual debate with a bunch of seminary deacons, because they're almost priests.
Yeah, right. They'll be priests in May of next year.
But we had a debate about Taylor Swift, and it was funny hearing everyone's different take on it, because yes, this new album is a little edgy, and there are some songs that are not exactly appropriate, maybe a little explicit, and not in line with the values of the Catholic faith. But there is one song where simply she talks about her wish list, and all she wishes for is a family and to get out of the spotlight and just raise some kids with the man she loves. And how cool is that? You know, we spend every day with clients and prospects alike talking about their wish list and what they want to do with their time and how they want to spend time, whether they're working or retired, and what they're hoping for and wishing for. And a billionaire who's creating these albums and documentaries while she has a worldwide, you know, tour, who does more in a day than I probably do in a lifetime. All she wants to do is have kids and raise a family with the man she loves. And maybe we're not all that different.
No.
Exactly. And, you know, one of the things I'm really impressed with her is that she finally made it when she started dating Travis.
We were rooting for her. We've been following her for a long time, and she started dating an NFL player, and then finally people started to realize who this Taylor Swift
Listen, if it
is.
was any other team, it wouldn't have been so great. But he is a Chief.
Oh, that's right.
So maybe I agree with you there.
That's true.
Yeah, I've got a 12-year-old little girl at the house, so our entire world is Taylor Swift 24/7. And I will say that this as a girl dad, we listen to it a lot. It does. It bops. It's got some good. But she is so breathy, though. That's the one thing about Taylor. All her music sounds the same. It's like everything's like, and I fell in love, and I gotta go to the bathroom, and I might go get a salad for dinner. I mean, like, I feel like everything is very breathy, but she could literally like just read like what her day schedule is. Boom, number one.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Mark, if this doesn't work out, I think you may have a backup role with her
Stop.
on
I've got a
stage.
backup plan. I've got an additional source of income.
In retirement.
Maybe oh my gosh, wait, maybe you need to do like Taylor parody songs and turn this into a thing.
Oh my
I'll
gosh.
help produce it.
Oh my gosh.
I'll help produce you doing this.
Yeah.
But I knew Taylor Swift actually made it in life when she appeared on one of my famous large pumpkins 2 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we're in the month of October. Halloween is on the horizon, and Gerry doesn't just help plan people's retirement on a daily basis and do a damn good job doing that, in my opinion, my humble opinion as his favorite youngest daughter and business partner. He has a phenomenal skill when it comes to pumpkin carving.
Yeah, and actually, Barbie went with me this weekend to acquire our pumpkins. So
very good.
Yeah, some people go to the pumpkin patch and they just get they just look around and they just pick up a pumpkin and they leave with a couple pumpkins and they stick it on the front porch and then they put the little cute little jack-o'-lantern eyes and stuff on it. No. Gerry Ricken goes to he starts at Eckert's, and if they can't find it there, he'll go anywhere. We've been to probably 10 pumpkin patches looking for the right pumpkin.
Eckert's, Tees,
It's got to be at least 100 pounds usually.
Really?
And then you have to inspect the carving surface.
Yes, it has to be smooth, and it can't get, and there can't be ripples, so that you can get the right canvas to do your artwork.
My goodness. Caroline's the same way. We went to the pumpkin patch this week, but she will put personalities behind the pumpkin. She'll be like, well, this is Pum Pum, and I like Pum Pum a lot, but there's another one, Kinsey. Kinsey's going to be a sweet pumpkin too. She gets all, and then as we leave, if we pick Kinsey the pumpkin, which by the way is the name of our pumpkin this year, because you do name pumpkins for some reason.
Sure.
And as we're leaving, she'll be like, I'm sorry, Pum Pum, maybe next year we'll get you. I'm like, what? We're talking to a plant over here. What is happening? Now, Heidi, is he this detailed when it comes to getting a Christmas tree as well?
Well, everyone in our family has allergies, so but yes, he is that detail oriented when it comes to the 3+ fake Christmas trees that he puts up each year, and a different theme on each of them.
That's just at home.
Yeah, that's just at home. Then we have them at the office too. And then he has custom designed, lights around each window at home and everything too. Yeah. But some people grow up in a household where holidays are just holidays. And some people grow up in the Ricken household where every day is a holiday with Gerry.
It's an undertaking.
But the holidays are also a big deal. And he's incredibly detail oriented when it comes to all of that, which also comes in handy when we're working on people's financial plans here, because
you have to pay attention
so
to
many
detail.
details.
Yeah. You have to pay attention to detail.
And I want that. And I want that from you. I love that you take everything so seriously, from the holidays, from picking out the right pumpkin, making sure that the surface is acceptable to be painted on and carved if you carve.
Oh, no, carve.
Yeah, carve. Sorry. Whew.
No one paints on that. Well, yeah, you have to carve with steak knives, come on.
He's got his own set of steak knives just for the pumpkins.
He actually does, yes.
A Ginzu knife just for the pumpkin.
Check out our social media. We'll put some notes in the show notes here, because you'll have to see. I'll put a little post together of some of the pumpkins that Gerry has done over the years.
I love it.
They're pretty impressive.
I'm all in. All right, so let's talk about that. You mentioned it there for a little bit, customizing retirement strategies. And I think at the end of the day, and you said this off the air, that one of the most important strategies, if you will, is to let your money work for you. Let's get into detail about that this week.
Every person we meet with has worked very hard for not only their paycheck during their working years, but for what you've saved. Because if you think about it, we spend 20, 30, 40, 50 years stocking aside money for the future so that one day that money can do something for us. But we're creatures of habit, and we spend that many years accumulating the assets and working on saving them and working for those assets. And it's such a mind shift change that when retirement comes here, we need those assets to now work for us. Mm-hmm. And that's a skill set not a lot of people have focused on or have, because we're so ingrained in our habit of stocking it aside for the future. So what we want to talk about today is the future is coming. how does that money work for you now and not against your plan? Because what you do to accumulate the assets for the future, that's not what you do to decumulate them, to preserve them, to live on them, because
To pass them on someday.
exactly. If you just stay the course in your 401k plans, are they doing the right thing for you? That's the question I have. And spoiler alert, most of the time they're not.
Because most of the time when you think about a 401k plan and you set that thing up, you either pick, a basket of mutual funds that you're invested in. Then most people never, ever touch that, never, ever look at that again. And then occasionally they'll get a quarterly statement. And their risk tolerance over the years will change.
Mm-hmm.
But their investing doesn't. And that is a huge, huge issue.
I was meeting with this woman over the last few weeks, and our first appointment when she came in, she's wonderful. She's worked incredibly hard to save for her retirement. She's been a single mom for over 30 years now. And she has a child with intellectual disabilities who needs round-the-clock care too. So it's been a lot of scrimping and saving and working very hard to make sure she's providing the best life for her child. Sure. And she doesn't spend very much. Her clothes are from Goodwill. And she can buy clothes elsewhere, but she's still in that mentality that she was in when she was on her own with her child trying to figure out life, And because she doesn't spend very much, almost as much of her paycheck as she could for all of her working years has gone into her 401k. And, there's a lot of talking heads out there that say one size fits all and here's what you need to do. And she got advice from a family member who works on 401k plans that said, put everything in the traditional, you're going to be in better shape in the future. Well, right now, she's also incredibly cost conscious. When she came in, she brought all this stuff to us. We started dismantling it by looking in the background. What are you invested in? What are the fees in it? How is this going to work? And then kind of forecasting things out. If you continue to make this rate of return on everything, what's the future going to look like for you? And the way that she has saved, she will be in a significantly higher tax bracket when her required minimum distributions kick on in the future, because she has saved so much money in her traditional funds and they are still at pretty high risk. So they're making a very decent rate of return right now. If that continues, and we forecasted it conservatively too, her income when she hits age 75 years old and has to take a required minimum distribution, she's going to be paying more than double the amount of taxes she's paying today. So there's plenty of time to get ahead of the issue and take a look at it. But we also noticed every fund that she's invested in her 401k plan, she thought, just keep the money at the 401k plan. People always talk about how it's so fee conscious at 401k plans because, the reported fees that we know that we're paying are basically minimal. It was like a couple $100 a year. Every single fund she's in, she had to pay a 5.75% commission up front to enter it. And there's over 2% internal expense ratios on it. And almost all the funds own the same amount of stock, the exact same stocks in the background. So the money is not really working for her. And she has worked way too hard for that money for her to create this problem in the future that she could potentially get ahead of.
People just don't really realize what's happening to their money because a lot of money is going to fees and you're not really getting the benefit out of it.
Fees/commissions, because there's a difference.
Yes.
And
those
that's why
575s are commissions.
Yeah, that's why here at Ricken Financial, we don't use mutual funds because we don't believe in having to pay a commission up front in your funds for the money to work for you.
Just to walk through the door.
Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't have to pay a 5.75% commission up front just to enter a group of stocks, because a mutual fund is just a group of stocks. Maybe some bonds in there too, but at the end of the day, if you can make the same rate of return or a higher rate of return, paying way less in internal expense ratios and commissions that you're not even aware of, we're going to be transparent with you from day one and show you exactly what it's going to cost to implement any of our plans. But what we're doing in the stock market, we're never utilizing mutual funds because we want to make sure you're well aware of what you're invested in, why it's working for you, and there's nothing hidden in there costing you more money just to get the same results or potentially better results. But every single person, what you're invested in is going to have a different answer for how it's going to work for you, what your risk tolerance looks like, what we want the money to be doing for you in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
how much tax you want to pay in the future.
Yeah. And in your working years, you're stocking aside money in this 401k. And most of us have saved in our traditional funds. That's just the norm in America. And if you don't make any changes, your traditional IRA, 401k, 403b, TSP funds, so those funds that you haven't paid the tax on yet, if that's what's taking the most risk in your portfolio and making the higher rate of return when you near retirement or when you're in retirement, you're just setting yourself up for this ticking tax bomb to hit you when you hit required minimum age distribution. Because when all of a sudden you have to take 4% out of those funds and they're continuing to grow at a higher than 4% rate of return, you're kicking on more income than is necessary in retirement and paying more in tax. There's a way to get ahead of that tax problem, but it takes a little bit of planning. And that's why it's important to know where your money is, what it's invested in, what kind of rate of return it's making, what kind of risk it's taking, because, just by switching your investing methodology from investment to investment, you can be so much further ahead in the future, because our entire philosophy here is it doesn't really matter how much money you make.
Yep.
At the end of the day, what truly matters is how much you get to keep in your pocket after we pay the IRS and whatever state you're in. And maybe Gregory FX daily too, if you're in the city, depending upon what stage of your life you're in. But, we want to make sure that your retirement plan is working for you. And at the end of the day, you get to walk away with the most amount of money possible after you pay those taxes, because you can't avoid the tax.
Yeah. No, you can't avoid the tax. And Heidi mentioned taking 4% out. That's at age 75. That percentage goes up each year. So 76 is 4.2, 77, it continues to go up. So if you just think about it, you're going to be paying more and more and more, because you're forced by the IRS to take out more money each year, because the percentage of the amount you have to take out is growing at the same time your portfolio is growing. Mm-hmm. So it is a ticking tax time bomb. And we want to make sure that time bomb doesn't explode on you when you turn 75, 76, 77 years old.
It's probably why you should, give us a call, check out the show notes, because here at Ricken Financial, not only do we carve pumpkins and listen to Taylor Swift occasionally, if your name is Heidi and not Gerry, and look at all the details that are involved in your financial plans, but apparently we also dismantle tax bombs. So we'd love to be the one to help you dismantle that tax bomb and, get ahead of the problem and come up with a forward-facing plan for how you can make that money work best for you in the future.
We want your money to stay in the family, and we don't want the IRS to be one of your biggest beneficiaries. That's the bottom line.
Right. We mentioned at the beginning of the show that Heidi is jamming out to the new Taylor Swift. What about you, Gerry? Like, what's on your playlist right now? What's your top bands, your top artists? What are you listening to right now?
Oh, I'm curious now.
Wow.
And it doesn't have to be brand new. Maybe you're rocking something old. I mean, what gets you?
Merle Haggard, baby.
Damn straight. Yes, sir.
I've been listening to some Merle Haggard lately.
I love that. Boy, you talk about running the gamut from Merle Haggard to Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah.
One to the other. But if you walk away with nothing else from this week's Kicking with the Rickens podcast, it's not what you make, it's what you keep. Let your money work for you, not against you. We invite you to reach out at any time. You can find the phone number, which is 314-207-6211. You can find the website, which is rickenfinancial.com. You can find all that information here in the show notes. We invite you to reach out, even if you just have questions. Well, Heidi, Gerry, I think that's a good place to hit pause for this week. Thank you so much for streaming Kicking with the Rickens podcast. We are back next week. But before we get out of here, Heidi Ricken Provost, Gerry Ricken, take us home.
Every day is a holiday.
Life is short, laugh hard.
This has been Kicking with the Rickens, redefining retirement.
Insurance products are offered through the insurance business Ricken Financial LLC. Ricken Financial LLC is also an investment advisory practice that offers products and services through Impact Partnership Wealth LLC, a registered investment advisor. IPW does not offer insurance products. The insurance products offered by Ricken Financial LLC are not subject to investment advisor requirements. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Any references to protection, safety, or lifetime income generally refer to fixed insurance products, never securities or investments. Insurance guarantees are backed by the financial strength and claims paying abilities of the issuing carrier. This podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be used as the sole basis for financial decisions, nor should it be construed as advice designed to meet the particular needs of an individual situation. Ricken Financial LLC is not permitted to offer, and no statement made during the show shall constitute tax or legal advice. Our firm is not affiliated with or endorsed by the U.S. government or any governmental agency. The information and opinions contained herein provided by third parties have been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, but accuracy and completeness cannot be guaranteed by Ricken Financial LLC.
Please remember that converting an employer plan account to a Roth IRA is a taxable event. Increased taxable income from the Roth IRA conversion may have several consequences. Be sure to consult with a qualified tax advisor before making any decisions regarding your IRA.
Tax preparation and tax advisory services are offered through Ricken Financial. These services are not offered by IPW and are not subject to investment advisor requirements. These services referenced are an outside business activity not offered through or supervised by IPW.